You have came through the fire. Be ready to see the light. Cause the prayer is ready for you to be back.
I'm from the pit, not the palace. I'm kinda stylish. Lifestyle lavish. Jump in the coupe with no mileage. Run it. Styling.
Welcome back, Bucs Bros. We're glad to have you back after the holiday season. We've been away for a while, so I like to say welcome back to my fellow Bucs Bros, Zach, John, Bryce. How was your holiday season, guys?
Always wonderful.
Hey, great to be back into 2022. Hopefully, we'll finally get out of these COVID protocols this year.
Okay. I wasn't going to bring up COVID for my holiday recap, but
That's everywhere.
Holidays were great. A little Bucks heart attack. Other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning COVID, bringing down the vibe. But it does seem like it's back up and roaring and everything's on lockdown. And coming off of this game for the Jets, it seemed like we were a little bit on lockdown until late in the game when Brady put together a drive with 2 minutes left, no timeouts. Catching the ball, Cyril Grayson on a long TD pass to win the game 28-24 against the Jets. So, guys, we're coming in, and we've been away for a while, but we come in with a couple of wins now off the Jets. And how are you guys feeling after this performance and heading into the playoffs?
A lot better than I was earlier in the season. Well, this is a game that the old Bucks team loses 10 times out of 10. And this to me was 100% the Brady effect. To watch him come in, do that final drive, no timeouts, didn't spike the ball, just marched down the field, calm and collected to win the game. I mean, that was just impressive. And that leads me to believe that this team still has the capability to go all the way. And that's fun to see. I really like seeing that.
Yeah, the no spiking I thought was a really nice. Like, I was so aggressive. Like, we're just gonna go. I got the ball. We're going. That game was great just because it was an example of, like, tell me you're a 4-12 team without telling me you're a 4-12 team. When the Jets decided to do a QB sneak from 2 yards out with Tom Brady on the other sideline, just wild, great coaching over there from Robert Saleh. Thank God that bailed us out and gave Brady the chance. So pretty good.
I feel nervous. The defense did not look good. I know we have a lot of injured players out on that side of the ball. We really miss Levante David. We're definitely going to need him back for the playoffs. And so fingers crossed on that point. But yes, I agree, John. The old Buccaneers lose this game. That's why you bring Tom Brady to the team for these specific moments. I know it's the Jets, and as Zach mentioned, they're 4-12. They're not a good team. I thought actually the decision to go for it on 4th and 2 was a good decision. Just a terrible play call. From what I heard, he was supposed to be a handoff to Braxton Berrios, like a sweep. Somehow Zach Wilson, that's a rookie quarterback moment, didn't get to play and decided to run straight up the middle. Didn't go anywhere, so we benefited from that. And Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does. And shout out to Cyril Grayson. I mean, this guy, the last 2 games has kind of really helped us on the receiving core, especially missing a few players. And I know one player that we'll talk about here later decided to call it quits or cut. Guess it's he said kind of decision there or matter. But in any case, not a great game, but a great finish. And now we're sitting 12-4, looking to secure that 2 seed.
We got a lot of guys on out with injuries. You're missing major pieces up front. JPP, Shaq Barrett. Even though we've had pretty impressive contributions coming from these younger guys like Joe Tryon and who's the white boy who keeps getting all the sacks? Is that Nelson?
Yeah, Nelson.
Yeah,
Anthony Nelson.
What a monster. I like seeing him. I like hearing his name called. He seems to be making a name for himself, and that's a guy going forward who's a good piece to have. Because you're not going to be able to keep both JPP and Barrett and all these people going forward. So that's a nice key cog to have going forward. But we're also going to get we're going to get some people back. We're going to get Sean Murphy-Bunting back for this game. And hopefully this is a game for us to kind of coalesce and get some players back going into the playoffs, because you're right. The defense did look shaky, especially against the Jets team. But, my hope is that we're kind of holding back a little bit, taking these as mini bye weeks, knowing what we have to face going into the playoffs.
I don't know if I've ever seen Devin White and especially Kevin Minter. I know he's not the starter, but they had a terrible game against the Jets. I mean, they could not fill the holes, get off blocks. Minter overran a few of those sweeps like 4 or 5 times to just let the gap wide open. Felt like I was playing for the Northeast Bandits again, where they had us, the defensive ends, lined out all the way to the cornerback. So the guy just ran right by you. So I don't know what we were doing, but I'm sure Todd Bowles, once he gets some of our players back, will address that before we enter the playoffs.
We would have been better with 10 men than having Minter out there. He was like a huge liability. That bit
him and Levante is just
stark. Yeah, it's scary. The delta between those two,
for sure.
Yeah. That man is like all shoulders. Like, he doesn't know how to play the game.
If I were like recommending Levante David for the Hall of Fame, I would just play the tape of that game and then just be like, case closed, Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah, and that's what allows Devin White to look so splashy, is the fact that he gets to line up next to Levante David. A lot of times it's who you get to line up next to. Warren Sapp used to say that Simeon Rice was a big part of his success. And, I think you see that with Devin White. Is as soon as Levante David was out, he's a ghost. They don't have to go towards him. You know what I mean? Devin White wasn't in a position to make plays when you can run right at and past Kevin Minter all you want all game. There's no sense
through him next to him.
Yeah, over
put him in your pocket, really take him with you. Yeah, he's a trash can.
Also speaking of getting clowned, did anyone see MJ Stewart, former Buccaneer, get punked by that by Najee Harris this week?
I heard it was Chris Conti-esque.
Yeah, it was Chris Conti-esque, bro. Just stiff armed him directly into the ground and then kept running for another 10 yards. It was very embarrassing.
Like took his heart out.
So it could be worse, fellas. We could be back to that Bucs defense. Number 1 run defense, but getting run over in the secondary, and that's just not the case anymore. So we do have a little bit to fall back on.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you bring in Tom Brady. That's a good point. But it is a little concerning. We've got quite a bit of injuries packing up. And not, of course, only injuries, but we've got to bring up what happened mid-game with AB just throwing a temper tantrum and walking off the field, or I should say jogging off the field. We've learned later that he claims he was having an ankle issue and he didn't want to play due to injury, and that Bruce Arians cut him then and there. There have been some he said, they said with the Bucs organization. Antonio Brown, how do you guys feel about the situation?
Jogging off the field. He was jump jacking off the field. I was doing this kind of stuff, giving the peace sign, high-fiving fans. But no, what a circus, to be honest with you. I mean, to be fair, when we signed Antonio Brown, the risk comes with signing Antonio Brown. He's done this everywhere he's been. It was only inevitable, in my opinion, that I don't know if I were to put money on he's going to leave at, during the third quarter of a game without a shirt. And it's like, I don't know if that's what I anticipated his exit from the Buccaneer relationship to be. But that being said, it was never going to end amicably, based on his history. I think, it's probably a good thing we're doing this episode on Thursday, because it would have been interesting had we not heard a few, you've heard of Antonio's take that his ankle was injured and that he was feeling pressured to play. He told the trainers and the coach that his ankle really hurt, said they didn't care, told him to leave. And then we hear today from Bruce Arians say, it was really more of a matter of him really being upset that he wasn't getting his targets or catches at halftime. He thought the players had calmed him down. Third quarter comes, same thing, blows up on the sideline. Bruce Arians, said he refused to go into the package that they had called for him. And that's at that point in time, that's when he pretty much had enough of Antonio Brown.
And we found out today, and to your point, is we also found out today that he asked for the remaining $2 million in his incentives to be fully guaranteed before the start of this game. So he asked for that money to be fully guaranteed. The Bucs said no, and then he immediately, which was the initial report, started to freak out about targets. And so yeah, I mean, I don't want to cut you off. I think that's an important take, is that his camp did reach out for that money, and we told him no.
Oh yeah, no, I that is a pertinent piece of information. And I mean, I think all of these, actions that Antonio Brown, we're seeing him do is in line with the character that, he has kind of created for himself. It's a shame to lose a talent as good as Antonio Brown, but I think we can all say on this, on this podcast, that this man isn't a model citizen of any kind. And it's better as we're going to the playoffs, regardless of his off the field antics, we can't have any distractions. And this has caused a major distraction for this team. It's all anybody is talking about. And we're 2 weeks away from playing a home playoff game. I was in the camp, they should just cut him. I'm glad they did today. Move on. I mean, it's going to be the, topic all week, but hopefully by the time the playoffs roll around, Antonio Brown will have left the minds of the Bucs and Bucs fans, and we'll go into the playoffs without that distraction.
Yeah, we deserve this as a franchise. I mean, it's unfortunate, but we did deserve it, because it was unfair to the rest of the league to have a receivers room with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown for Tom Brady for 2 straight seasons, when you get to pay the guy essentially vet minimum plus incentives. So, I mean, we got a good deal bringing Antonio Brown here in to be the player that he was for so long. But I mean, like Bryce said, this was inevitable and also probably deserved. We got a Super Bowl with him. We got to go 12-4 again with him. We're getting our first home playoff game in years. Like we deserve this. This is our comeuppance for having a guy like that on the team. We made a deal with the devil, and that's who he was. I wanted him cut weeks ago when he committed a felony by providing a fake vaccination card to the team. I thought that was the time to get rid of him.
Federal felony. I mean,
yeah,
Florida, it's encouraged, but
right. Well, DeSantis pretending he doesn't have COVID is my favorite thing going on this week, besides Antonio Brown. And so yeah, it's just one of those things where I think we deserve it, and we need to take our lumps on it, and that's what we're doing. And we need to get ready for the rest of the playoffs. But it is what it is, man. You got to cut a guy like that. You can't have him distracting you from the fact that, like, that Tom Brady final drive against the Jets should have been his MVP case. That should be the only topic of discussion this week. It should be, why does Brady deserve to be MVP more than Aaron Rodgers? Let's go to the tape. Let's look at this drive. Instead, all anybody wants to talk about is Antonio Brown, and that's some selfish BS, because that final drive was incredible. It was intense, and it showcased why he is the GOAT. And instead, all we talk about is a guy who's not on the team anymore. And we knew wouldn't be on the team long term because of his actions like this. And everybody wants to say, "Oh, I hope he gets help," or "I hope people reach out." I don't really care. I don't really care that he gets help. He's rich. He's got millions of dollars. If he wanted help, he could get help. He's in a better position to get help than anybody else around. So no, I really don't care if he gets help. I care that we move on as a team. And we got what we could out of him, and that's what you do when you're a team. You pay him money to do what he's supposed to do. He stopped doing what he was supposed to do. We don't pay him any more money. Goodbye.
yeah, I mean, I don't really disagree with anything that was said. It was bad. He's gone. It's good that he's gone. I think the coverage of it is excessive, especially in real time in the game. I don't need Mike Pereira to come on and do a rules analysis breakdown of whether or not that's a penalty. Get out of here, man. He's like, what are we doing? The pro clutching was really excessive, and like the world was on fire because a guy threw a tantrum on the sideline. I thought it was interesting. I've watched AJ Green choke a cornerback on the field in the middle of a play. So I mean, I've seen wild stuff in the NFL. I don't think it's this like Rome is burning moment. I think it's a bad moment for the team. It needs to be done and move on, and wash your hands of it. I mean. But
we've got a player who stomped a guy
excessive.
with spikes in the face.
I mean, it's just like, this is, I feel the only part of Antonio Brown I feel bad for is that he's getting raked over it because I've seen far worse from guys who, they get more leash because he's done this before, and that may or may not be fair. But I just like it is not the end of the world. He will be on a roster next year, I'm sure. He's a Hall of Famer, like he's a Super Bowl champion. He's a supreme talent, 1%er in his position in in the league. So I just that's only like feel bad I have, like say something nice for him. I mean, what he did was obviously inexcusable, and good luck booming wherever you go. But I will say, like Mike Pereira getting on that broadcast, I almost lost my mind. I was putting together IKEA furniture at the time, and I wanted to snap something because can we get the game is being played right now? We could go watch the game, Mike, but whatever.
I was asking a question though. Would that have been a penalty? And then Mike came on the TV and answered my question. And I don't know if, it was so nice to hear Mike Pereira's voice. I never get to hear Mike Pereira on any Fox broadcast ever.
Moose Johnson made it sound like the NFL is folding over that moment. Like he was offended by it. Like, get out of here, Moose. Come on, bro.
But you know what I didn't like about the V stuff was that all the team didn't focus on it during the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were still focused on the game. Everybody just let him be. I know Mike Evans went over there to console him a little bit, but then he actually went in the play after that and converted a 3rd down. So,
and then his hand immediately went up to get onto the.
Yeah, he did. He's like,
immediately, I'm out. Okay,
yeah.
I know what you do.
I look for that every play now that you mentioned that.
He does. I swear, if it's a drinking game, you'll die. You will die.
I wonder if you looked at the probability of the win, right? Like they always have that graphic where
to the moon, right?
One team goes like this, one team goes like this. As soon as AB leaves the sideline, the Bucs probability rockets up.
It was good that we were focused on the game because we're going to need to do that for the next week when we face Carolina. We get them at home to finish the season, and we're looking at some playoff seedings going into Week 18. We have the possibility, I think, of getting the 2 seed. Do we know what needs to happen there, and who are we rooting for at the end of the regular season?
Probably make sure we win the game. That's step one. Let's beat the Panthers.
Yeah. This is that sandwich that we have at the end of the season. A lot of times as a Bucs fan, you get, the Panthers, somebody crappy, and then the Panthers. And this year it's a Jets sandwich. And, luckily for us, it's like 3 mini bye weeks. We can go in here and get the W here. And then, we don't control our own destiny. We have to get some help on the road. I believe it's the 49ers beating the Rams is what we're looking for. 49ers are also playing for a playoff spot of their own. If win and they're in. So at least they're not just trying to play spoiler. They're actually trying to get in. So that may come into our favor. If they beat the Rams, I believe that would move us into the 2 seed, and we would face the 49ers.
Eagles.
Oh, yes, that's right. Because there's only 1 bye week. You're right. So we would face the Eagles, which would be awesome because they've easily got to be the worst team in the playoffs right now. So that'd be good for us.
I don't know. The Eagles were kind of on that Miami Dolphin run. They're like 4 or 5 wins in a row or something like that, or 4 out of 5. But they play in the NFC East, and I don't think they've beat anybody, they play the Cowboys this week. So I guess we'll see. That's kind of a playoff matchup in itself Saturday night. But yeah, we're obviously number 1 Buck fans. We got to win. And then 2, go Niners. If they beat the Rams, we secure the number 2 seed, and that's 2 home playoff games. Granted, we win the first, but if we win the first divisional round here in Tampa, I think every Bucs fan will look forward to that.
And then we could, granted the Packers lose, that would bring the championship game to Tampa. Yes?
That's correct.
That stadium is getting a workout. Postseason workout. I like it.
I don't see the Packers losing at Lambeau in the divisional round, but I guess it depends on who they play.
They lost to the Niners, right, in the NFC title game, right, when the Niners went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs.
I think they went to the Niners though, so they were in San Francisco.
Yeah, I
they
think
lost in the championship game to us.
Yeah, I think that the big thing was Rodgers' first home game against us
Yeah.
in the NFC title game last year.
Well, they've lost 3 in 4 years, so I just assume they're always in the game and always losing.
Yeah, Rodgers is 1-4 in NFC Championship games. He has thrown for 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah,
He went through 4 interceptions this entire season. So that just tells you how good Aaron, what an MVP that man is if he can't even get his team to the Super Bowl, 2 out of 5 times.
I mean, give us 4 games against the Lions and the Bears. That sounds great. It's like our best game of the year was against Chicago. So, like, give us a bunch of those games.
Pat check down over there and not getting any picks, but that's
lose
fine.
to the Vikings. Whoa! I mean, come on, guys.
The Vikings with who was the quarterback for the Vikings this week?
They lost the first time in Minnesota.
I don't know. I think that's his name, but I don't know.
Is that the Maryland guy? I thought someone like that played at Maryland a long time ago.
But notably, it was not Kellen Mond, who they drafted, and Zimmer doesn't even want to talk about. Or what did he say? He's like, "Do you want to see more Kellen Mond?" And he said, "Not particularly." Okay, you drafted him.
I think in the quote he says, like, "Why not? I see him every day."
Yeah, nothing special. We do have Bucs bets. Yeah, we have
What a transition.
Yeah, sharp turn. Like these sharp bets. We have Bucs -8, under 41.5, and Panthers under 16.5 total points. Not a lot of points usually in these late division games. And I really think this game is like 30-7 or something. Like, I just think we come out and just like boom, 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 get it over with. I think it's a business trip. I really do. So -8, Panthers under 16.5 rather, and then under 41.5. Go Bucs bets. We're on a heater. I mean, we haven't been making these bets. Like we missed a week or two, but we're on a heater. We're super profitable.
That's true.
All right, Bucs fans, this is your week. Kick back and enjoy it. We're going to go in. We're going to catch an easy dub at the Panthers, and then we are rolling into the playoffs. Win or lose, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who we play. Doesn't matter what happens down ballot. We are getting a home playoff game. So start getting the coolers stocked, getting your beers nice and frosty because the game is coming. It is that season. It is that time again. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the one thing that you can guarantee is that we are going to fire those cannons. So let me get that one time before we go out. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Yeah,
I can't even spell Cyril, by the way. Does anyone know how to spell Cyril? Like right now, without like just thinking about it.
CYRIL.
I think you're wrong. I don't know, but I think you're wrong.
Check Google's, John.
That's what I'm doing, baby. I got it. Hold on. It is CYRIL.
No,
That is it. Yeah.
it's probably not the common spelling, but
You guys see that TO now wants to sign with the
Oh
Bucs?
yeah. I
Sign
think if
him.
you're in the Hall of
Sign him
Fame,
right now.
you're not allowed to play anymore.
Oh yeah, let's
Older
lose
than
AB,
40.
sign TO, like the old AB. Same kind of antics, same locker room cancer.
Yeah,
if
AB never had
TO
his
at 48 is balling out, or even if he even caught a ball at 48 on an NFL field, I'd be pretty impressed.
I'd take that action right now. I bet you he catches pass.
So, screen. All right, go for it.
I'd take because nobody's gonna cover him. It's not like he's gonna run away from you. You can play off coverage all day against a 50-year-old man.
They should sign him, and then what would our median age average be on our team? It'd have to be somewhere close to AARP status.
No longer Youngry.
Come full circle from the Raheem days.
Yeah.
I forgot about Youngry. Oh man. What a
I don't care about stats. Stats are for losers.
It's gonna be the grumpy old men segment. It's just gonna be a bunch of washed up Le'Veon Bell and Brady and T.O. We'll get Ocho Cinco back in there. Their shows used to run back to back on TLC. We could get both of them. That'd be dope.
Next thing you
Hey,
know,
man.
Keyshawn's gonna don the 19 again.
Where's Des Bryant?
I mean, didn't he fail a physical last time you tried to go to?
Oh no, I heard Percy Harvin's in shape. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
No.
Hey, when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, you get all the stuff.
At least I can spell their names.